Hey everybody, Keith Sargent here. I'm at the Hyatt Regency in Chicago. We're not at the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia. We're a long ways away, but we're on assignment. We're covering the Big Ten Media
Big
Day.
Ten football convention.
Exactly. It starts in about 45 minutes. Actually a half hour with a bunch of coaches. Chris Ash, the Rutgers football coach, will be going on at 1:30 Jersey time. What are you going to be looking for Chris Ash to talk about? What are some of the key questions that you're hoping for?
Well, obviously it starts with the quarterbacks. I think that's what all the fans want to know. That's what we want to know. Not that he's going to name a starting quarterback today, but how do we expect this quarterback battle to go? Every coach handles their competitions a little bit differently. Are we going to see days where Hayden Reddick or Chris Leviano gets all the reps? Are we going to see days where he splits it? And how does Zach Allen come into this? Does Chris Ash consider this a three-horse race, even though Zach Allen's never thrown a football at Rutgers officially? Does he automatically just jump to the top in a three-way tie? Does he have to make up some ground? Because if he has to make up some ground, he better do it quickly after 2 years of rust or 3 years of rust at TCU. Quarterbacks, and obviously Darius Hamilton. How healthy are you? He's yet to say the magic words, 100%. That's what I think every Rutgers fan wants to hear. I'm 100% ready to go.
Now, just as a note, Ryan and I were having breakfast, and we saw Chris Ash, and he was talking with Barry Alvarez. He wasn't eating, but he's here. He looks totally ready for this. What I'm looking forward to, let's be honest. I mean, Chris Ash, if there's one thing about him, he's been brutally honest. I mean, assessing the team, telling anyone that Rutgers has a long way to go. We're here with Ohio State, Michigan, Michigan State, Penn State. The Big Ten doesn't put out a formal poll, but
we did.
Yeah, we did, exactly. Yeah. But I'm kind of interested to see whether or not he thinks that they're ready to compete, or just how long it's going to take to compete with some of the big boys. I mean, this is a guy who, was at Ohio State. He knows what it takes to get. He was at Wisconsin. He knows what it takes to get to that next level. I'm looking forward to seeing what Chris Ash thinks, of Rutgers' chances. I mean,
yeah, I don't expect Chris Ash is never going to be the rah-rah kind of guy. He's never going to do that. But the brutally honest stuff was good all offseason. I think it's what fans wanted to hear. It's what the players needed to hear to work their butts off with Kenny Parker in the training room. But now it comes time to build a little positive momentum. I don't expect Chris Ash to set a win goal for the season or to say we want to be bowl eligible, but I do expect maybe a little more hard-lining, we've turned a corner, or I think we're ready to compete kind of stuff.
We've covered this before. It's just, they split the coaches. So Urban Meyer will be going tomorrow. Jim Harbaugh will be one of the coaches, and so will James Franklin. James Franklin, as a matter of fact, actually follows Chris Ash. So around the Big Ten, all eyes when we talk to Jim Harbaugh. It's been an eventful offseason. He's been certainly in the headlines. But
certainly a name Rutgers fans are interested in, if for no other reason than for their dartboards.
But I mean, Peppers, is a Jersey guy.
Well, they just came out we just got the official 10-player Big Ten watch list. That's all they do. There's no preseason all-conference team, but Peppers is on it. There's 10 players on it, 2 New Jersey guys, Jabril Peppers and Wisconsin's Corey Clement, both made the list. I have a slideshow up right now if you want to check those out, see who the other 8 players are, anyone from Rutgers. But we both voted, and I think I got 9 out of 10 guys on the list. So who the biggest stars are.
And, it's a 2-day event. So, I mean, Jim Delaney, the Big Ten commissioner, goes up tomorrow. Really looking forward. You did the questions that you want answered. And I think one of the questions, I'll let you share to the viewers watching this, what do you want to hear from Jim Delaney as it pertains to maybe Rutgers?
The number one thing I want to hear, and we've heard a lot about it, we think we know the answer is no, but I want to know the Big Ten's in for $2.64 billion reportedly in TV deals. A lot of that, I would think, has to do with the additions of Rutgers and Maryland, the D.C. and New York TV markets. Well, do Rutgers and Maryland get any piece of the pie? The terms of their entry agreements, their integration agreements were set long ago before these deals. Well, now they get these deals. Either Rutgers and Maryland adjust the terms of the deals and they get a little bit of this, more than the $19 million they're expected to get the year before they officially join the Big Ten, or the distance between the haves and the have-nots grows from wherever it is now, $32 million for the full members, $9 million for Rutgers, to 19 and 50, $55 million a year payouts from the Big Ten. That's an even bigger distance. And sure, in 2021, the Rutgers picture looks good, but we're a long ways from 2021.
Hopefully you can ask that question a little bit shorter.
I do ask long questions. How about you? What do you want to hear from Jim?
Well, that's probably first and foremost. I think, he's obviously going to talk about the TV deal. We'd be remiss not to mention that, there's going to be a somber mood, Nebraska, as well as Michigan State, but Nebraska had a current player, punter Sam Foltz.
All Big Ten.
All Big Ten, who died on Saturday night, tragic car accident. So Nebraska's not even here. They were supposed to, 3 players and Coach Anderson were supposed, Coach Riley were supposed to be here. They're not going to participate in Big Ten Media Day. Those are pretty much the key things. And I'd be also remiss not to mention that you mentioned Darius Hamilton, Andre Patton, JPO, Julian Pinnis-Odrick. They're all going to be here.
Lots of questions for those guys.
Exactly.
Training camp's 2 weeks away. To close, I mean, what are you looking forward to hearing from the players, with training camp so close? I'm interested in why training camp, how it's going to work on Livingston. I think that's kind of something that we'd be interested in. Obviously, there's the disrespect question, right? I mean, in New Jersey, in the bubble we live in, we feel like everything's changed at Rutgers. The fans feel that way. There's a breath of fresh air. Pat Hobbs, Chris Ash. Nationally, people are still picking Rutgers to come in last in the Big Ten East. People are still making jokes about Rutgers. So the bubble that New Jersey lives in feels different about Rutgers. Does anybody else feel different about Rutgers? I think we'll get a feel for that over the next 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, a year ago, and I don't want to go back too far, but a year ago, Julie Herman was here. I remember being here and trying to get Julie Herman to just talk after Kyle went, and she was nowhere to be found. Pat Hobbs, total departure. I mean, there's a lot of things about Pat Hobbs that are different from Julie Herman, different and better. But I'm looking forward to talking to him, seeing what he makes of this atmosphere. Because if you remember, he was at Seton Hall all those years. He's used to the Big Ten Media Day, but as
Big East basketball media day is a little
bit different.
Little different animal. We've both been to those. They're a little different.
Exactly.
There's no need for whatever this is.
Convention center, one of the biggest in the world.
Yeah, there's no need for that. And I loved Big East basketball media day with Calhoun and Boeheim. Those were great times. Yep. But hey, I'll take Harbaugh and Meyer and those guys. They're just as good of characters.
All right, thanks for joining us. But we'll try to do another video, maybe closing off some of the things that we learned from Big Ten Media Day. In the meantime, keep on reading.
Yeah, we'll have dozens and dozens of stories both days. So keep on clicking, and all our tweets will be in a live update post that's already on the site.